Welcome back to Build Different, the place where grown energy, grown opinions, and grown lessons all collide today. Oh, and we're stepping straight into the fire, huh?
Yes, we are, because today's topic is a question that stirs people up. Is it better to be single after 40 or
Ooh.
settled after 40?
Ooh. The streets have opinions. The couples have opinions. The divorced folks definitely have opinions.
Yes. So buckle up and let's get into it.
All right. So, team single here
Uh,
after 40, because I definitely was that. Being single after 40 hits a little bit different. You
mhm.
got freedom, you got peace. I say you got peace. I say you got peace. Your own routine, your own space, no compromising with chaos. You can travel when you want, sleep diagonally in the bed, and
That's
not worry about
nice.
someone loud chewing disrupting your spirit.
Okay, well, I'm going to be team settled after 40.
Mm,
And being settled after 40 is a luxury too.
yeah.
You have stability, companionship, shared goals, emotional support, intimacy, partnership, someone to pick you up from the colonoscopy. It's important. Listen, love in your 40s can be softer, slower, more intentional. It hits different.
Sound like a record, but I don't know, man. But ultimately, the ultimate thing, like I said earlier, peace is the prize. I
Mhm.
refuse to let someone come into my 40s talking about where you at. Baby, I'm grown. I'm where I pay bills at. I'm where I be. But, it does disturb your peace sometimes when somebody asks all the little questions on, where you at, what you doing, why you ain't call me, why you ain't text me, why you ain't page me. I mean, if you have stability and you have a good companion, they shouldn't have to ask all those questions at once.
Right. And I don't think that's necessarily a part of being settled is to get that all the time. That's a little
No.
bit excessive, I think.
Yes.
But peace is priceless. I do agree with that. But so is having a partner who brings peace with them.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not act like all relationships equal chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Some folks come with healing energy.
Mm-hmm.
And a partner who brings peace enhances your life.
Mm-hmm.
A partner shares the load practically and emotionally. That's
Okay.
really important
Mm-hmm.
so that you don't have to carry that all on your own.
So that's true. But most of us had to heal from somebody or something or someone or somewhere.
That is true. But your new partner can bring healing help you heal from an old relationship.
Okay.
Mhm. So, what about freedom versus accountability? Being with someone keeps you accountable emotionally, spiritually, even health wise. That person can help you grow. So you can grow individually and you can grow together.
Mm-hmm.
You eat better, you rest more, you grow. And I think that's what you have to think about when you consider dating someone, whether you help each other do that, grow individually and grow together.
Mm. And being single, I said, and being single keeps you accountable to who? Yourself. You're not matching energy. You're not adjusting your schedule. You're not negotiating weekend plans
Mhm.
like a hostage negotiator, but you're
Not
actually doing things strictly for yourself. And that's not a bad thing.
not a hostage negotiator. Come on.
Yes,
Oh,
sometimes it's like that.
it's not that bad.
So we'll go ahead and talk about stability versus self discovery. Um, so
Hmm.
stability, your 40s are prime time for self rediscovery.
Hmm.
You discover new hobbies, you discover new habits, new identity outside your relationships that you have with other people.
That is true. Being single gives you a lot of time to do all that self
Hmm.
discovery.
You get to find you.
You do. You get to discover you. And I think everyone needs that time.
Hmm.
So don't get me wrong. Everyone needs that time of self discovery on their own. But sometimes having a good partner helps you discover parts of yourself you didn't even know were there.
Hmm.
Like they can hold up a mirror to you, right? As far as things that you might want to work on or improve, or places where you might want to grow. And then they can do new hobbies and create new habits with you.
Hmm.
You can have a new identity both inside and outside of the relationship.
Okay. Or they can help you discover the need for therapy and a little bit of going other places where you ain't never been before.
Okay, but hear me out. That could be a good or a bad thing. They can help you discover you need therapy because you realize that you're in a healthier situation and you need to work on your healing to
Hmm.
function in your healthier situation. What
Mm.
about that?
Yeah, but I don't always want to discover that. And I don't know, a lot of other single people want to discover that. But, I think it can help and it can be somewhat of a distraction or,
Mhm.
just, I think sometimes when people say you need therapy, sometimes everybody can't walk a walk by themselves. So when they do say you need therapy, I think sometimes you do need some help from others,
I agree.
and maybe they need therapy. That's why they're telling you need therapy.
I think everybody needs therapy. Everybody needs therapy at some point in their lives. But I guess what I'm saying is some relationships make you want to go to therapy or need to go to therapy, but some relationships, because they're in a healthier place, can show you that therapy might help you
Mhm.
function even better in your relationship.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about financial factors. Let's talk money. Being settled can mean building together a house, investments, legacy.
Here we go, Team Single. You know we were gonna have to say something about this. And being single means your money stays your money and in your pocket. No joint accounts, no secret credit cards, no arguments about DoorDash bills or who orders from Amazon the most. Or every time we get a knock on the door from Amazon, basically it's never mine, it's always yours.
I feel like
Or theirs or hers, but it's never really his. Yeah,
I feel a little attacked.
90% of the time, it's not his. But that's okay. That's why we got our own accounts.
There you go. DoorDash will humble a household
Yes.
for sure.
And I think a lot of times when we do DoorDash or we think about other stuff, that we do outside of going to the actual store, I think sometimes a partner doesn't realize that they could just ask their partner or their individual that they're in a relationship with, hey, do you mind going to get this? Instead of
Mhm.
calling that DoorDash and spending that little extra money on
That is
the
true.
DoorDash.
That is true. I that you have a point. You have a point there.
But people really don't think about it when you're making money, when you got income coming in. They don't think about those little things that add up on a continuous basis. Not being cheap, it's just being, hey, if that person is willing to go out and do something for you instead of you, waiting for somebody to deliver it to you, then let's just go do it that way.
Yes,
You
it's
know,
it's
we do have
mindfulness.
times where we are busy. We don't have time to do a lot of things because
Yeah.
they made grocery shopping a little bit more convenient
Hmm.
for all of us now that we don't even go in the store and go do grocery shopping no more. We order it, pick it up, boom, take it out the bag, put it in our refrigerator. We're done.
Yes. Yes. But even like you said, like going and pick it up is still cheaper than DoorDash.
Yes, yes.
So excellent points were made. Excellent. Okay, so when we talk about like some comments we hear out in the world, like listener comments, what do you think about this? Single in my 40s is a soft life.
Single in my 40s is a soft life.
Mm-hmm.
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
Or how do I feel?
Yeah.
Single in the 40s is a soft life. I mean, it's a time in your life where you're hopefully at a point where everything is kind of settling down, kind of relaxing, you're chilling, you're understanding what life is, what you have going on, and how you want to enhance it. And either you want to enhance it to with yourself, or you want to enhance it with somebody that is going to be either that partner or that associate that you're going to be doing things with.
Yeah.
You don't have to do. I've had the luxury of having both because I've enjoyed myself of being with myself
Mm-hmm.
and things I could just get up and go. But now when you're in a relationship, you do have to figure, okay, I can't just get up and go. I have to figure when is our schedules aligned that we can do things together. But at the same time, I still want to do my own thing as much as you do yours as well.
Yeah. Well, and I think soft life, I know for women, like, your 40s, you're single, soft life, you could do girl dinners. You know what girl dinners are?
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like these, like, little dinners that you can make from little things like a charcuterie board.
Yeah, a cheese and cracker board. I understand that. It's bologna and some Ritz.
No,
Yes.
it's not.
And a couple of grapes.
It's not. It's
But you want to be Sadiddy charcuterie board or whatever.
yes, the salami, the prosciutto, right? So you could do stuff like that. You could paint a whole room pink if you want to. There's some soft life. Okay, what about this one? Settled in my 40s, saved my sanity.
Settled in my 40s. So how would you explain that?
That's a good question. I mean, I think, maybe by bringing stability and, relationships can bring peace into a relationship depending on what you were doing before you were settled.
I think when it comes to sanity, I think when it comes to the 40s, and I don't know if it was a lot of y'all out there that dealt with the 40s as much as I did. It's times where you love being single in your 40s. And it's those times where you're sitting there and say if you're dating and you're doing, whatever you're doing outside of being with one person, you always have individuals in your life where you're like, okay, I want this person over. Okay, cool. We're having fun. We're enjoying. Now I want this person to go. Not saying that you don't like them. You just, you want your time back again. And then it's times that you sit there and say, okay, my sanity is, relaxing with this individual. Peace. What is peace? Peace is when you don't have to wake up and stress out about everything that happens around you when you're in a relationship. I think also peace is being financially stable. Peace is also enjoying your job. Peace is also enjoying the person that you're laying next to and knowing that you just don't want to strangle that person, or you don't want to just walk out in front of that person and be away from that person. But
Right.
do you have to think about that person 24/7 to be in love with that person? No. I think that you do have to have some kind of love, some kind of compassion, but at the same time, know that it is a boundary between both of y'all where she has to have her time and you have to have your time. And just because y'all not talking 24/7 does not mean that y'all not together, or he's mad at you or she's mad at you. It's just you need that time, and you have to have time to miss that person.
I agree.
If you're around that person 24/7, you don't have time to miss that person. You want to be excited to see that individual.
I agree. I think it's really important. And when I work with couples, I talk about this. It's important to have time and things and activities that you do together and separate.
Yes.
Because you want to have your own identity. You have your identity as a couple, but you also have your individual identities. Yeah. And it's important to maintain both.
And I think single people put this stigma on single. A lot of times when I think the sanity, what saved my sanity was me speaking up to my family, telling them, stop worrying about my life at 40. Oh, you need to be married, or you need to be in a relationship. You know what? Let me figure out my own stuff so I can do what I need to do to be successful in my personal life. Not have somebody continuously tell me you need, because it gets to a point where it drives you crazy and it makes you not even want to go to family gatherings because they say what you need. But on the flip side, a lot of times when you bring different individuals to your life, you're not just in it just to have sex with them. You're in it to figure out what fits your life, what fits your style. Yeah. And not everybody fits your life and your style. So you have to move on to the next individual.
And really, isn't that what dating is about? Just figuring out if it's a fit, if it's a match.
Mm-hmm.
What about I want companionship, but not cohabitation? And that's becoming more and more popular.
Well, companionship is cool. And that basic compatibility with, the individual. Cohabitation, I think I didn't believe in cohabitation for the longest. I wouldn't go be cohabitated with no one, playing husband and wife and not being married to that individual. And I'm still not married, as you can see. But we came to a point in our life where I said, I got to get to know this individual. Can you get to know them if one person is living over here, another person is living over there? You can, but I think you can get them to know them a little bit better if this person is washing their hair in the sink and leaving the hair everywhere, or the dude is freaking clipping his toenails all over the place and leaving them, or if he's a dirty individual, or if she's not clean, or you find that out when you're living with a person. Cohabitation is hard to not do anything in particular with a person because you're actually sleeping with this person, laying with this person, doing things with this person on a daily basis. But you have to figure if you are going to be compatible companionship with this individual.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you're not, then you just need to move on and y'all can go y'all separate ways. Yeah, it sucks that somebody has to move out and start packing everything up, but I'd rather be a friend and be happy than an enemy and be pissed off every time I come home.
Woo,
that's just me.
That's good.
So, and I'm not a professional. I'm just a person out there in the blue.
But you're wise.
Yeah, I try to be wise.
Yeah. Well, and I even saw an interview, a couple of interviews actually, with some famous women saying that even if they did get married, they wanted to live separately.
And matter of fact, I just met an individual that just got married 5 months ago, and she smiled and said, you know, the good thing is we love each other.
Mm-hmm.
He's 16 years older than me.
Oh.
But she knows what she wants, and she lives in her house because of her kids wanted to live, you know, in their own home, and he lives in this house with his 3 kids.
Really?
But they still married. They still got a ring on. Everything is good. And as far as I know, I don't ask them their situation because I'm not a marriage counselor.
Mm-hmm.
But according to both of them, everything is good.
That's interesting.
It's interesting, yeah.
And it works for some people.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's about what works for you. Some people think that, you know, I would never want to live separately from my spouse. But some people, they value that.
If I had to, I'm going to be honest, the situation, it has to be a situation where we both agree. Because it is times where, like, you may have to live away from your individual.
Right.
Period. And it depends on what the situation is. If it's job wise, if it's going to make us better in life, I think that no matter what I've learned that if you are living away from somebody, communication has to be a big thing.
Yes.
And I'm not the best communicator in the world, but I do understand when it comes to saying hi, texting, calling, FaceTiming, you know, WhatsApping, whatever you're going to do,
Right.
You have to have that on a continuous basis to make things work somewhat.
Right. There still has to be that level of communication and intimacy, right?
Yes.
And some way of still building a life together.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What about dating in my 40s is fun, but relationships are tiring.
Hell yeah. When I was single and dating, man, everything was awesome, man. It was like, shoot, I could just be like, man, if I didn't like somebody, if I didn't want to be with somebody, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. Or, you know, if I didn't call him for 2 days, hey man, why you not calling me? Hey man, I got busy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once I got in a relationship, and it depends on what type of relationship you're talking about. Is it toxic or
Yes.
is it a relationship that I really want to be in? A lot of times people say, you know, oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm telling you right now, we all can do what we want to do, but we choose to do what we want.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we say we can't do this because of this. I'm not saying that's a lie, but I'm saying that people choose to do what they want when they want to do it. If you want to see somebody, if you want to talk to somebody, if you want to hear somebody, you'll get some kind of way to do it, even if it's 5-10 minutes, an hour, whatever it is. But relationships are tiring, man. I mean, because you always working, no matter what. Even when you get off of work, guess what? You go home, you're working in a relationship,
right?
You know, and you're trying to figure out things, you're trying to understand each other. And you won't never understand each other fully.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why you continuously get to know that person and you start understanding their ways, how they do things, how they, you know, act. If they're not smiling, why they're frowning, if they're not, you know, they may have to use the bathroom. They may have to freaking, you know, thinking about something. They may have something on their mind. It just depends on what it is.
Yeah. Well, and I think when we say relationships take a lot of work, it gives relationships a bad rap. I'm going to say this is a team settled person. And I think that the work isn't just, oh, it's a grind, it's so hard, but it's also working on yourself. Because for your relationship to work, you work on yourself. For your relationship to grow, you have to work on yourself and together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's work, but I think it's work that overall helps you grow as a person.
Yeah, in a way.
A little bit. What about relationships are better at this age? Grown people love differently.
I will say relationships back in the days were a little bit easier because all I had to do was write a note and say, "Do you like me?
Yeah.
Yes or no."
Yes.
That's it. I didn't have to call you. I didn't have to text you. All I had to do was say, "Hey, are we freaking cool? Are we gonna go out together? Are we gonna do this? Yes or no?" But I'm not saying that. Um, you know, I'm not saying they're not better. I'm just saying it was a little bit easier with the circle. You
Okay.
know, now relationships. Back in the days, you didn't have a woman to ask you, what's your social security number? What's your credit score? What's your height? You know, why don't you do this? Why do you play games? Why do you? And it's vice versa. Men do it too, man. Because
Yeah.
I remember when I was dating, I was asking a woman, hey, what do you like? What do you? And you could kind of tell when somebody was just saying the right things just because they wanted to kick it with you. And I'm like, okay, you want to go to church? Oh, I don't have nothing to wear for church, but you got something to wear that when we go out to go eat dinner. Come on, man. So for me, it was a little bit more easier back in the days. Now it is kind of difficult. It is different. People catfish you. People,
Yeah.
ghost you. People tell you things that are out of this world. Like I told somebody when I was on the dating app that I was a doctor.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
if I'm a doctor, why you ain't got no pictures of you being in the hospital? Everything is what you doing other things.
Uh-huh.
But I lied to her, because and they say a lie is a lie, and you're right. It is a lie. It is a lie. But sometimes we have to lie, and I say this in a good way because maybe we want to surprise somebody. I'm not saying surprise them and say, hey, look,
Surprise, I'm not a doctor.
or surprise, this is not me. This is my brother picture.
Uh-huh.
But I put this picture on here because I wanted somebody to talk to me,
Oh.
and I didn't want you to see the real me. Or surprise that I'm 65 years old, even though I told you I was 40.
Yeah, that's catfish.
That's messed up.
That's messed up.
But yeah, but it just, I think dating this age and during this age, it does hit a little bit different. I think a lot of times we just look at looks a lot on both ends.
Yeah.
And we don't look at, I mean, I know we have to be attracted to that person, but we don't look at when you're dating like on apps, you're not really talking to that person. So you're basing on everything that you see, that you read, and you hopefully that person will write everything correctly or truthfully.
Yeah. I heard somebody say this on a podcast and I thought it was really interesting. They said your looks are the least interesting thing about you.
And yeah, I think to a certain point, but for a man, I think physical attraction is the first thing, man. I mean,
for women too.
We look at a woman and we look at the little things, her smile, her freaking eyes, her make sure she got her teeth, make sure her toe is not coming out the bottom of her foot, because she's wearing high heels too small for her feet. I mean, just certain things. I know that's a physical thing, but that's just those are little things that, that person we look at, we're like, okay, her hands are not bigger than mine. If they are, then I don't know. We got a situation there. We got something that we need to go call 911 for. Or her feet. Maybe her feet bigger than mine, and I wear a 12. But if she wearing a 14, she wears a 14. Then hopefully she playing the WNBA or something. Then we can still talk. But
okay,
it's just certain things that we look at that we are very attracted to.
And I think that's a misconception too, because people are always like, men are physical, men are visual. Women are also visual.
Yes.
We also are attracted by looks, but it's not the only thing. And I think as you get to know someone deeper, that's when you figure out whether it's just looks that person has to rely on or whether they have other qualities. Okay.
So we're going to have a quick debate right now since we've been talking a lot. Hopefully we ain't made your ears bleed. Hopefully we gave you something. But Team Single always going to be right no matter what. Because Team Single is here to stay.
Absolutely not.
So who's happier after 40? Singles or couples?
Ooh.
Singles, I say singles till the day we die. Even though I'm in a relationship, I still say singles because we sleep, we travel, and mind our damn business, period.
Now, couples, because we have emotional support and steady hugs.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but okay.
Who ages better? Couples. Love keeps you glowing. It does.
Please. Peace keeps you youthful. I say once again, peace keeps you youthful, not relationships.
Who's more stressed?
Couples are more stressed. You all got too many conversations. And that's the crazy thing. When we're single, we don't have no conversations.
Oh my goodness. Singles are y'all pretending you're not lonely.
I admit it was times that I did get lonely, and it was very few times. But those times do hit sometime, and they hit weird. And it's just like you want somebody there, but then you're like, when that person gets there, you're like, I don't want them there that long. I kind of want them just to bounce, you know. And then you're just like, they stuck here, so you didn't pretend. Oh man, I gotta go to work. They're like, I thought you worked days. No, I work nights too.
Nights right now.
I got a second job, so it's trust me, loneliness hits, but I'm not saying it's the number one thing. I love peace.
You know what? I think it's we need to point out too that sometimes people can be lonely in a relationship.
Oh yeah, they can.
Right?
They can. Yeah.
So there is that thing too where someone, and I feel like that's a really rough place to be when you're in a relationship and still feel lonely.
So to close this out, being single after 40 can be beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It can be peaceful. It can be empowering, and it can be on your own terms.
Yes. And being settled after 40 can be just as beautiful, supportive, intentional, and emotionally rich.
Yeah. There's no right answer.
Just the right choice for you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Grown Folks Debate. All right, y'all. It's time for our brand new trivia segment that we're going to get. All right. Grown folks. I say grown folks out there. You could be 25, you could be 35, you could be 45, 55, 65, as long as you grown. The game where we test how much you really know about dating. I'm going to say after 40, but look, this whole show is not just after 40. This show is about dating and period. The only reason we had after 40 is because, for one, we are over 40. And we looked at it as we're looking at dating over 40. Yes. But we're also talking about dating at 20, dating at 30, dating at 40, dating at 50, dating at 60. Whatever age you are, this is a show for everybody's freaking dating, worshiping times to make sure that you understand you have to look at dating in a way that makes you happy.
Exactly. Because there are things that are consistent no matter what age you are.
No.
Right? And so when we're talking about this trivia, depending on your answers, we might judge you lovingly.
So, fact or fiction? People over 40 prefer peace over passion. Fact, because after 40, passion is fun, but peace is what keeps your blood pressure low.
That's true. Fiction for couples. Passion still matters, but we're not trying to break hips. Just a little coordinated enthusiasm.
Break hips like sexual hips?
Yeah, like swinging from the chandeliers.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay, exactly. Passion at 40 comes with a warm-up stretch, I guess you want to call it. Man, just go at it. That's it, period. Just handle your business, finish it, do what you got to do. Matter of fact, come back again for the next one.
There you go. That's my kind of talking.
So, what is the number one reason people over 40 prefer being single? Okay. And like I said earlier, freedom, no drama, sleeping diagonally, not sharing snacks.
The answer is B, no drama. Grown people do not have the energy for chaos.
Actually, the real answer is D. If you touch my snacks, we are done. At this age, I hide my cookies like a raccoon. You know, I don't want nobody touching nothing.
Okay.
That's how the single life lives.
And that right there is why you're team single.
Whoop.
Okay, question 3. Fact or fiction? Married or settled people live longer.
Fact. What was the question again? Married or settled people.
Fact or fiction?
Live
married
longer.
Or single people. Settled people live longer.
I would say possibly fact, because single people don't have someone yelling, "Did you drink water today?"
Yes. Listen, we don't yell. We strongly remind with care. And actually, that is true. Married men have a tendency to go to the doctor more often, eat healthier, drink
Because they
more
got somebody
water.
reminding them to go.
Yes, and they actually suffer from burnout less than single men.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's yelling in a cardigan. Yeah.
It's yelling like wrapped around in warmth and love.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
All right, so 4, fill in the blank. Dating over 40 is basically
an emotional obstacle course with better credit scores.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying, man. Single, man. You don't have to worry about a lot of things.
I think it's like shopping at TJ Maxx. You might find a gem, but woof, you got to dig.
Yeah, because you ain't going to find what you need in TJ Maxx right away.
No.
Sometime.
No.
And some of those gems need ironing. Yeah. So you ain't going to find it often.
You still got to do a little work after you find them.
Yeah.
Okay. Fact or fiction? People over 40 move slower in dating because they're cautious. I think it's a fact. We've seen enough. We're evaluating everything. Like we're some HR managers. Like, is this person checking the boxes? Are they a good fit?
Yeah, because I do see a lot of people doing that. I think it's a fiction though, because we move slow because we're tired. Honestly, we're tired. We're tired. We got good jobs. We got kids if we have them. We got back pain and we got melatonin schedules. We got to go to sleep, man. We're tired more. Back in the days, somebody tell you to go to sleep, you didn't want to go to sleep. Now, sleep is a necessity. It's the best thing in the world.
That is true. I mean, I'm laughing at the melatonin schedules, but you're right. Sleep is very important.
Man,
we need it. Okay. Multiple choice. Which of these is a major 40 dating red flag? A, they never apologize. B, they text WID all day. C, their mattress is on the floor. D, all of the above.
The answer to me would be B, but I'm going to say D, all above. If your mattress is on the floor at 40, I'm calling authorities. I'm calling your parents. I'm calling somebody. You should not at 40. And you know what? I want to say this with a humble heart because we don't know everybody's situation. We don't know what they're going through. So I cannot talk about somebody that has a mattress at 40 because we don't know what they're going on. But to me, if my mattress is on the floor at 40, I need to be dealing with what I need to do for me, not with us, not with another person in my life right now. That's just my personal opinion.
True. I mean, maybe they're minimalist. All right, rapid fire.
Okay.
5 seconds, single or settled? Who's happier?
Single, because of peace.
Settled, because of love.
Peace is love.
Love is peace.
Look at us arguing the same point.
At a big age. Bonus round. Unpopular opinion or truth? Dating after 40 feels like looking for parking. Open spaces exist, but not where you want them. So is that opinion or facts?
Dating after 40 feels like looking for parking. Open spaces exist, but not where you want.
Yeah.
I think that's a fact.
I think there's some facts to that. Yeah. Because, I was on dating apps for all of 1 month. And I think that's true. There were a lot of open spaces that existed, but I did not want to park my car in a lot of them.
And I didn't want to park my car. I just wanted to drive by. That was it for me when I was on the dating apps, and I wanted to look, hey man, I may pull in here halfway, go back out, pull in here halfway, go back out. That's just, I think that's the way I was thinking because I was single.
Yeah, there you go. All right, statement 2. Single people in their 40s have the most peaceful naps.
Single people in their 40s have the most peaceful naps. It depends if you're single and not talking to somebody, because you can have peaceful naps, but people think that sometimes when you're not answering your phone or when you're not texting back right away that you're into something and all you're doing is sleeping. So I'll say yes if you're not talking to people that are in your ear like a gnat nagging. Or, if you're just by yourself, doing it by yourself, yes, we do have the most peaceful naps. We don't have to worry about nothing.
See, I think settled people have peaceful naps because you get to spoon.
Yeah. But if you're a hot body person, spooning ain't the
Spooning is,
type of stuff that you're trying to do, though.
It's very true. It's very true.
So people in relationships reply to texts is slower because they're trying to maintain peace at home.
I feel like that's an opinion, not a fact.
That is an opinion. I think sometimes you get people who text right away. Sometimes you get people who text, maybe an hour after you text, maybe 30 minutes. Sometimes people are just really busy. I mean, we all have lives outside of what we do every day. So just because you're not texting right away does not mean you're not going to text back. Sometimes people get so many texts at once. Sometimes they forget.
Right.
I think I've heard everything from I forgot to text to, the person texts me back 4 days later. And maybe that gives you those red flags like, damn, they text me back 4 days later. I think you can text back sometime and just say, look, I'm busy, or hey, talk to you later, or the nice WYD, what you're doing. It just depends on what the situation is. So you're not trying to maintain peace at home all the time.
Right. And you have jobs.
Yes.
Right. Sometimes you're working or maybe just really are spending quality time with your significant other or your family or taking a break from your phone even. I mean, Okay. Statement 4. Divorced folks in their 40s are the best daters. They've been rebooted.
I've never been divorced, so I can't speak about this. Have I dated a divorced individuals? Yeah, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It just depends on what they're going through and how their divorce went, because they can be honestly confused. They can be chaos. They can be a distraction to your own personal life because they're talking about their divorcee the whole time about how they hate it when their divorced, husband or wife did this. It's a whole lot of BS at times. So it just depends on who the divorced person is and have they been out there in the real world, because you got to think about it. Somebody that's been divorced, they together for a person for 20, 30 years or 15 years or whatever, and ain't never been out in the dating world. They don't know what the dating world is like. Dating world is totally changing every single day.
Yeah.
So, reboot it, please. And freaking rebuked, yes. Freaking.
I think being someone that is divorced, I think it depends on the situation. Has the person had, healed? Have they done some work already? And I think I actually counsel people too that are getting back into the dating world after being divorced. And for some people, it's like a real shock. It's a culture shock because they were in a space for a long time, like in the marriage space, in the settled space. And then all of a sudden things change a lot. So I think for some people, it's a real struggle and it's really challenging getting back out there. And for other people, if they've done their work, they've done their healing, they're ready to make that transition. And they have kind of been rebooted because they've done the work to, maybe it's going through therapy or spiritual practices or a little bit of both, right? And reflection. And now they know what they want, and it is like they're rebooted.
Yeah. I mean, she would know, not me. So I think that's why her answer was better.
Oh my goodness.
And that was Grown Folks Faction or Fiction, the trivia game proving we all need therapy.
Yes. So whether you're single or settled after 40 or at any time, clearly we're all just out there trying to avoid red flags and lower our blood pressure.
So please like, subscribe, comment, give this link to somebody that may need this or may want to comment on it. We're definitely loving the love from everybody that actually gives us a look, gives us a hear. And we're not trying to make your ears bleed, but we are trying to help and y'all help us by helping y'all. You know, we give y'all as much as we can. Please, 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 please comment, like, subscribe, and
Yes.
follow.
Yeah. And let us know what you think. Do you think it's better to be settled or single?
Single.
Settled.
Please, please. Have a good day, y'all.
All right. See you next time on
Build different.